Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to Fandom Frequency. It's your boy Kenny, and today I'm gonna be discussing in all the spoilery details the latest horror thriller that just dropped this last weekend. I'm talking about one of my most personal anticipated movies of 2021, and also one of the most anticipated movies in general, man. A Quiet Place Part 2, directed by Jim from The Office himself, man. John Krasinski, starring his wife Emily Blunt, and all the regular returning cast is here. And we got two of my personal favorite actors in the industry, man. Cillian Murphy and Jaimin Hansu are also some supporting characters in this one, man. And did this movie live up to the hype? Because this thing got delayed for like an entire year, maybe like a year and 3 months, because I think this was supposed to drop last March in 2020, man. I was gearing up to go see it, and then the lockdown happened, and we all know the rest is history. But finally, today, after I've seen A Quiet Place Part 2, did it live up to the hype? Was it as good as the original? Did it surpass the original, or was it a complete shit bomb? Well, I'm glad to tell you guys today that I loved this movie. A Quiet Place Part 2, man. John Krasinski and the gang come back and bring you possibly an even better sequel that might surpass the original, you know what I mean? I got to watch it a couple more times and kind of compare it, but this sequel lives up to the hype in my opinion, because whenever a sequel comes along, especially in the horror thriller genre, I always try to temper my expectations a bit, because the horror genre, unfortunately, as much as I love it, is known for its diminishing returns when it comes to sequels, and sequels have that reputation in Hollywood anyway, man. So I'm glad to report that, at least in my opinion, this movie kicks ass, man. I love it from top to bottom, but to get into the details, let's get down into the synopsis a little bit and get into the plot, since we're going to be doing spoilers, man. And pretty much the movie starts off with a flashback to day one of I guess you could say the apocalypse of whatever the hell these creatures are, the Demigorgons or whatever. And it's day one. John Krasinski's character is going into the same market from the opening of the original Quiet Place, where him and the family were going, and the kid was messing around with the rocket. The rocket's right there in the box on the shelf, man. I love the attention to detail with this movie, man. And we start off on day one right there. He's with his daughter in his truck, and they're about to go over to the baseball game, which is just a little ways away, to go watch the oldest son play his game in Little League, you know what I'm saying? Mom, Emily Blunt, is over there watching him play, telling him to cool off and get ready to step up to the plate and get ready to bat. John Krasinski and the daughter come along, and they're there to watch the game. And who else do we see but Cillian Murphy, man, chilling right there behind him, cheering on his boy playing the game, or cheering on their boy playing the game, while his son sits there with him in the stands. And that was a really cool way of introducing the character right there, and kind of establishing his connection to the main characters, you know what I'm saying? And really putting him in the plot, and not really wasting any time, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden in the distance, they see a UFO on fire crashing down somewhere nearby, which I thought was also a really cool detail, that it kind of started right there, which is probably why it was so fucked up in the original, man, because it literally started right there. Like, the aliens landed, or whatever the hell they are, landed right there. You know what I'm saying? And they don't waste no time getting over there either, bro. They're fucking up people at this baseball game when people are trying to evacuate. Like, this town gets ran through in like maybe 5 minutes flat, dude. Like, it's insanity, man. And I got to give some props right there to Krasinski and the team, bro. It may not be a lot of gore with these Demogorgon things running around killing people, but it's freaking effective, man. And it is visceral when they're cutting up people and tossing people, like, through cars and through windows and shit out on the street, and chopping off people's legs and stuff, man. Like, it ain't super gory and detailed in that way, but it is effective, and it does its job, man. Like, you're on the edge of your seat with all the chase and all the, like, kill scenes and all the stuff with these aliens, man. And then we jump forward to, like, day 400 and something, and we're in the present day, right where the end of the first film picked up. Opening credits, we get right into it, and from there, they pretty much leave their home because it's on fire, and then they really don't have anything left there, and dad's gone, and pick up the baby. It's mom, brother, and sister, and they're going on to try to reach the person they were actually trying to communicate with via the fire thing they had at the tower. They were actually trying to communicate with Cillian Murphy's character, which I thought was such a cool way to tie this sequel in an organic way that actually makes sense. So I love that detail right there. They finally make it over to Cillian Murphy's crib, and then the son, ends up getting caught up in a goddamn bear trap, man, and his legs all fucked up. And then they end up killing off the thing because they got the speaker with the microphone, causing the feedback, so that way the Demogorgons get weakened enough for Emily Blunt to come in with the shotty and take that motherfucker out real quick. And then we see it's Cillian Murphy's character. He's survived through this whole thing, but he lost his son and his wife, and that was really sad. You know what I mean? Everybody loses somebody in this thing. Horror genre. What else can you say? And then we pick up from there, and pretty much Emily Blunt wants him to help them because they got the newborn, and they're just trying to survive and make it on to the next place because they don't really have a home to go to. So he says, "All right, you can stay here for the day, but after that, you got to get the hell on." But the daughter ends up figuring out this message that was done through the radio because she's actually searching through the stations, and puts the headphones on her brother's head so he can listen to see if they can find any music to listen to because they've been trying to find contact or music or something. And she ends up finding Beyond the Sea by Ricky Martin or somebody like that. And then and she ends up figuring out after listening to it, Cillian Murphy's like, it's just the same damn song all the time on the same station. You couldn't hear it where you guys were at on the lower part of the valley, but afterwards you can hear it because they went up higher to go to his house. So that way she figured out that Beyond the Sea was actually a code telling people to actually go to the nearby island to go reach the remaining people on this little island community. If you go to the dock, you take the boat, you get over there, you might be able to reach some help. So she's like, hey, man, let's go get some help. Let's go to the boat. Let's use the map my dad had mapped out and go to this location, and let's go try to get some contact. So that's pretty much the main plot going forward in this thing. And I really love that, man. It ties in with the last movie. It world builds, and it builds out the world while also going with the current plot that's going on right now. But it keeps things simple, just like the original movie, man. And that's the thing I love about this. It's a very small scale. It's not trying to talk about the entire world and what's going on with the entire planet. They're just concerned with what's going on with this family in this particular place in this particular time. So I love the very focused scope, man. So, and from there on, man, we're just on this journey. Mom back at the crib with the son and the baby. She's trying to get medicine and stuff for them to make sure she can keep them cool and they could survive until they get the daughter back. And then obviously Cillian Murphy at first goes to get her, but then he realizes what she's trying to do and he ends up helping her so they can get contacts. That's pretty much your main plot moving forward, man. And that's where we go to the very end of the movie, yo. But with no further ado, I'm going to just get into my overall positives of the movie, and then we'll pretty much wrap it up with the negatives and just get my overall, assessment of the movie, if you will. But yeah, get into some of these positives, man. I love the directing. Obviously, I've already mentioned that several times. John Krasinski kills it. The writing team killed it once again, man. All the acting is top-notch. Obviously, Cillian Murphy and Jaimin Hansu are, those are fan favorites. Those guys always come in and kill it every time they get their supporting roles. But Cillian Murphy actually had kind of a main role here, which was really dope. You know what I mean? One of his first ones I've seen him in, probably since like Inception or maybe, Dark Knight or not Dark Knight, Batman Begins. My bad. But yeah, man, it was great. All the acting was great. And I really want to highlight the daughter in particular, man. The deaf girl named Millicent Simmons, man. She was awesome. A scene stealer. Like, I want to see her do a bunch more movies. I want to see her get a lot more main roles like this, dude, because she kicks ass. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't have anything to do with her being, having a disability or whatever. I just think she's really awesome and really play this role. And I think she could play other roles just like this or other stuff, So I really hope she gets a lot of love, and people need to really give her a lot of credit on this one, man. So I'm going to make sure I do it right here and now, man. Millicent Simmons, you killed it. You were awesome. She was a great find, man. And the sound design and the score, once again, with this film, top notch, man. They had me jumping out of my seat, on the edge of my seat. I'm into it, man. And they're using the sound design even to cause jump scares. So everything about that was great, man. The sound design and the score by Marco Beltrami, they killed it from top to bottom all the way through this movie, man. The score is very emotional, very intense, and it's just really well done, man. Like, I got to get the soundtracks to both of these movies, A Quiet Place 1 and Part 2. Great stuff, man. And just the overall pacing of the film is fantastic. It's like an hour, 45 minutes or something like that, just like the original film, and it flies by, man. I was almost sad it was over already. You know what I'm saying? I thought it almost flew by too quickly. Like the pacing was just breakbeat, man. Like it was just going nonstop. You know what I mean? It took its time to build up the characters and develop them and get the plot going and take its time where it needed to. And it also took its time to build up tension and suspense, which just like the first movie, they did it excellent here. Maybe even better. They might have even topped themselves in that department on this one. But they really, it's just great pacing, man. There's action, 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 character, action, 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 character, action, drama, character, action, action. Like, it's just nonstop, man. I'm on the edge of my seat from the jump. And I like that this also had more loud scenes than the previous film, but it doesn't detract from the style, and it still really hits those silent moments very well. So I like that they kind of changed it up and didn't go with that same gimmick of almost the whole movie being very quiet, where this one had a lot more noise going on, but used the silence to really punch up those tense moments where it needed to and where it made sense for the story, not trying to play off the gimmick. So I really love that, man, because sometimes, especially in like horror or just genre movies, they get a little too concerned with that gimmick in the sequels and they kind of run with that instead of building on character and stuff like that, like other ones, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, all the new characters like Jaimin Hansu's character, Cillian Murphy, and you know what I mean? They were all awesome. They were both awesome. I was a little sad Jaimin Hansu got took out so quick, but you know what I mean? I get it. It's a horror movie, man. Nobody's safe most of the time, and unless you're a virgin. But yeah, man, it was great getting to see him and Cillian Murphy. He killed it like always. But this was actually kind of cool to see him do something a little bit different with this role, where he wasn't doing anything villainous or anything like that. He wasn't really even antagonistic. You really understood where his hesitation to help them at first. You know what I mean? So I love that, and all the new characters and all the new stuff they brought with this sequel, all the new world building and the new development with the plot and where things could be going for the next one since they got a trilogy planned. I can't freaking wait, man. All of that stuff was done so well, yo. And just, yeah, man, I mean, there's really nothing else I can say without just completely gushing about the movie, man. Like, it was just really awesome from top to bottom. I'm really a big fan of this franchise so far moving forward. It's super unique, but also similar to stuff that comes out before, stuff that we're used to seeing, especially as horror fans or as genre fans. But this movie is so well done from top to bottom. I recommend everyone go out and see this thing, man. And the only real negative I could really say about this movie, getting into some of my negatives or just really nitpicks, was I thought there was a few scenes that were just a little convenient, you know what I mean? But I think all movies have that. I think it's always kind of there, and I thought sometimes characters made certain decisions just to get in danger, kind of in a way. But either way, not a big deal. It doesn't detract from the movie a whole lot. So there really isn't any reason I can't recommend this movie to everybody and anybody, everyone out there in the world, everyone watching this video right now. Please make sure you go out and use your own hard-earned money and support dope independent movies, man. And I'm just talking about independent movies in the sense of, or not independent, but original movies. An original franchise has been moving forward, man. Go out and support it with your dollar, man, and go check out A Quiet Place Part 2. It doesn't disappoint in any facet to me personally. This is a great film. It's a great franchise. It's just starting up, man, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, you know what I mean, Millicent Simmons, and Cillian Murphy, everyone, man, y'all killed it. And you gotta go see A Quiet Place Part 2. This movie, to me, is damn near flawless. I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10, bro. Like I said, few conveniences, few, you know what I'm saying, maybe even a plot hole or two, you know what I'm saying, depending on the rewatches. I'll kind of see if there really is, because I think there might be one, but I want to kind of see it again to kind of really verify that point. And, you know, we might be making more content talking about A Quiet Place Part 2. You never know. I'll find any excuse to bring these movies up again, man. So this movie is awesome. 9.5 out of 10. I love A Quiet Place Part 2. But what did you think, man? Did you dig this sequel? Did you think it was anything close to the original? Did you even like the original? Did you like this one? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Were you somewhere in between? Let us know in the comment section, man. I want to hear from y'all. Whoever watches the video, leave a like and or leave a comment. Let us know, did you dig the review? Did you dig the movie? Are you a John Krasinski fan? Are you a fan of Emily Blunt? Do you like horror movies? If you do, you know what I mean? Drop some other horror movies that came out in the last few years that you love. Drop your opinion about A Quiet Place Part 2 in the comments, and let me know if you think this is better or worse than the original. Let me know in the comments, guys. Go check us out over on social media, and go check out our podcast feed, man. We're all over the place. We've got iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name it. You can find us on it, man. Thank you for checking out this episode, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. We got a lot more stuff coming for you, man. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is going to be coming out next week. So we're going to be covering that. And we got a lot of stuff coming, man. So until next time, stay tuned. Don't sleep. Peace.